Hey y'all, hey, it's Yayas Sade from Yayas Haus Beauty and Spiritual Wellness Studio. I realized that I have not been doing any type of intro, and I'm like, how will you guys know who I am for my new people that I'm trying to make friends with? Anyway, that's me. So today I want to talk about grief. This is a part of a little series, Yayas Haus. Sundays at Yayas Haus, and yeah, so we're going to jump right into it. I feel like I had some interesting thoughts and I'm just going to share. But I think that like our culture really has a weird relationship with grief. And the way we're taught is like to kind of like take a look in and keep on ticking. I feel like we all know that saying where we're like encouraged to take the L, take the, whatever it is that we're grieving, and just be and like told to push through, told to kind of like just go and continue to like, continue, push it down, swallow it up, kind of just like push through. And it is so, so dangerous to do that. So I'm gonna tell a quick story. So some time ago, like, some seasons ago, it was in like this dating season. And the relationship was kind of on its way out. When we're dating people, there's a peak of interest and sometimes it kind of just fades out. And so that's what was happening. And it was very strange because it was like, wow, I kind of was like, yeah, it is what it is. It's kind of sad, but it's not, it is what it is. I found myself really kind of like harping on this feeling, like this sadness. And I was like, why do I feel this way? What is going on? So I'm like feeling the way, and it just is like progressively getting worse. And so I'm like, I had to literally like, I was like at work and I was like on my break and I had to literally just like sit with myself and ask myself like, what are you feeling right now? Like, why do you feel such a depth of like sadness? Like, what is going on? And I realized that I was like grieving, like this situation reminded me of what it's like to grieve a friend. You know what I mean? Because half the time, when we're in transitions and we're going through relationship shifts, we know the feeling about like having maybe losing a friend or losing somebody. And I found myself really I felt re-triggered because at the time, the specific friend that I was like feeling myself grieving along with this situation and this relationship shift, was like a friend that I really didn't have a chance to like say goodbye to. I was moving and I didn't have a chance to like really like say bye and like really like ground into the reality that like, wow, like we're not about to be like as close as we are, and really understanding like what that really means and what that meant. And so I was like, wow, that's so interesting. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, I know that that's something that, we probably all have experienced, is like tying one situation to another situation. And that's like, sometimes we're like putting so much weight on this one situation, but really it's the past situation that we're still like grieving. And so like, I'm like, dang, like I was so emotional. Like I was in Burger King parking lot, like crying over an Impossible Whopper, y'all. Like I was really sad. And it was like, why? It was so funny. But it wasn't until like, and I was looking crazy, feeling crazy, but like, I did feel better the next day, like after I like really released it, like really just let myself cry, because I was like, why am I crying over this situation? And then I was like, oh, Yana, you're not crying over this situation. You're crying about your friend. You're crying about your friend and other people that you haven't had the opportunity to like say goodbye to. Like there was a specific thing that happened with the guy that I was dating, and it didn't give me the opportunity to kind of like just, like close it, whatever. And I was like, dang, like, wow, like this is so interesting. You know what I mean? Like grief is so interesting. And a lot of times, one thing we look over, a lot of times we look over the opportunity grief gives us to soften into ourselves and to like the reality and to um just like ourselves, but like the trust in the universe and the bosom of God. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes we bypass that because we're so busy trying to swallow it, hush it, quiet it. And the thing that I know to be true about emotions is emotions like grief, sadness, rage, these things are here. They're going to be expressed. They're going to be seen. They're going to be witnessed. And so whether we give it an opportunity to do that or not, it's going to find itself. It's going to have like you in an awkward situation. Like I was in the Burger King parking lot over my damn Impossible sandwich crying. Yo, it was hilarious in a way that it was like in hindsight, it was hilarious. It wasn't hilarious in the moment. I was like on my lunch break and I'm just like, yo, I felt so emotional. And I was like, wow, this is so fascinating. This is so fascinating. And so, yeah, I think like with thinking about winter rest as ritual, thinking about just rest, that is a part of what happens when you let yourself rest. Things come up, gives you opportunity to really be with grief, be with that and taking time. And so like something that's been really supporting me in this season is really just taking time to grieve things, to acknowledge the hurt feelings, to acknowledge the loss, to acknowledge the change. You know what I mean? To really acknowledge the new reality, the new thing that's happening, and being okay with feeling a way about that. You know what I mean? Like being okay with like, damn, like I feel a way about this. And so yeah, like I like over the years of like being like, cause I feel like I'm highly sensitive, highly spiritual, but I'm highly spiritual and that's why I'm highly sensitive. And so like my homies that I like around, like anyone who knows me knows, like, and really knows me knows, like I really, 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 really take time like weekly to baby myself, to grieve, to like just be with myself and baby myself, you know what I mean? Mother myself. And I find that it has been so helpful, you know what I mean? It and this is a precautionary thing that I do because I know that emotions will find its way and could present itself in an awkward situation. And if you don't get it out, it can become a disease in your body. So for anyone who's read Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, you know, that's like a oldie but a goodie. That's like to me, it's like a one of the sacred books, sacred text that anyone who's like starting a spiritual journey or is in a spiritual journey has or should get. And like in the book, she talks about how, you know, these emotions, they can become disease in the body, dis-ease in the body. And so it's just so important to like take time with yourself. You again are important. Your emotions are important. You are responsible for yourself. And so it's so important that you show up for yourself in these ways. And so that's just something that I just found myself doing. And one of the things I do when I'm taking time to give myself the opportunity to like grieve the thing that I really feel sad about or that my feelings feel a way about, especially because I serve people, like I work with people a lot. And so their emotions is typically what I'm working in, whether I'm doing sacred beauty, working with locks, whether it be just any type of sacred space that I'm in, any type of ritual or ceremony that I'm hosting or holding or supporting in, any type of sound experience that I'm creating, I'm holding people's emotions. I'm the container for a lot of emotions. So it's my responsibility to have that high spiritual hygiene to make sure that I am not carrying a lot of my own things inside of these containers. So this is one way that I take care of myself, by baby myself once a week. And so sometimes that can mean really just taking inventory and being aware of the things that I'm feeling. And sometimes the way I soothe that, because, you know, after you go through sometimes it can be heavy. And after you go through something like that, you want to bring yourself back to balance. You want to soothe yourself. And self-soothing is so important. And we kind of like look over and jump over that. You know what I mean? And so it can look like watching a movie. It can look like for me, I like to watch childhood movies with my son, even though sometimes he'd be crossing his eyes. Or I like to watch movies that I wanted to watch when I was a kid, but I wasn't allowed to watch as a child because my mom and dad did not play. They were super freaking strict with me. I was not allowed to watch rated R movies. Like, they did not play. And I think in hindsight, I'm thankful for that. But that's something that is so I like to watch childhood movies that I didn't get a chance to watch or wasn't allowed to watch, or stuff like that. I like to do my hair. Like, I love doing my hair. That's like something that I really like to do. And now that I'm really, really like able and focusing mainly on Yayas Haus, beauty and spiritual wellness studio, I have time. I can create time to take care of my hair, to take care of my scalp, to brush my hair, to set my hair, like to really just be with me, be with myself. And it's been really, 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 really nice. Another thing that I really like to do to self-soothe myself, I like to remake childhood snacks. And I say remake, like reimagine them, because y'all, like, we can't eat the same way we used to eat as kids, okay? Because I know apple pie and ice cream used to be my favorite, but I can't be dealing with that dairy the way I used to deal with the dairy. I just really can't. And so like, and also like, I like to put that a little bit further down the list because, like, we want to be mindful of like overeating, you know what I mean? Making bad eating choices, our relationship with food, which that's a whole nother video. But so I didn't want to say that as number one, but just reimagining childhood snacks. I like to do my feet sometimes. I can't wait. I'm getting back into that now. Like, I seen this really nice foot bath. I'm so excited, and I said, I'm gonna buy it for myself. And right now I have really been just watching my finances, respecting my dollars, respecting the energy, using what I have at the crib, because with like, I did like a big clean this year, and I've always, typically at the top of the year I do a big clean, but I like went into the nitty gritty, like the bathroom cupboard, underneath the sink, the drawers, the cabinets. Like, and it helped me to find that I overbuy stuff. Sometimes I'll have stuff and I don't realize I have it because it's not in order. And I'm like trying to buy something that I literally already have. And I buy quality. So it's like, it's expensive. And not only is it expensive, but it's like, sometimes when I want to buy the thing because I need the thing, I don't even realize that I have a quality version sitting in my cabinet. So anyway, so yeah, I'm really looking forward. I plan on doing like a little foot bath, and I'm just really excited because that's my thing. Y'all know, people who know me who are watching this, I love Sacred Beauty. I'm a Sacred Beauty girly, like Sacred Beauty practitioner. And in general, I love giving myself that. So yeah, so that's the thing. I want to look at my notes to make sure I'm not missing anything. Of course, baths. I love taking spiritual baths and sacred beauty baths. Sacred baths are my thing. There's nothing better than just sitting deep and low inside of a prayer. Okay, that's another video. And yeah, so I think that arting is another thing that I really, really like to do, which is like painting, crafting, doing anything, like just things like that I really enjoy doing. And that's like how I self-soothe after allowing myself and taking the moment to feel the feelings. I like to pick myself up, making art, yeah, stuff that you can do at the house is the things that I'm highlighting because we in winter rest as ritual. That's what we're doing. Okay, over here, I'm really not trying to go outside like that. I do go outside when I need to, and I'm just really enjoying inside activities. I recently got to have my sister over, and it was so nourishing. Like, we ate like our little childhood breakfast that we were raised on eating, and so we're Jamaican. My daddy's Jamaican. And so we had some cornmeal porridge, and we took naps, and we listened to music, and we talked, and we sat quiet, and we did the things. And it's like, I really enjoy that. And so I want to do more of that all winter. Yeah, I love my people. Okay. And what else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Um, yeah, and so after I let myself like really be like a crybaby, cause not me crying again, y'all, crying and boo ugly crying. Like it was just so much snot coming out. My eyes were like so swollen the next day. But when I tell you, I felt so much better and so much lighter the next day. And while like the bruise still was tender, I still felt really good. And I was like, wow, like letting myself cry, it helped me move to the next phase of like the reality of my life and the situation that I was in. You know what I mean? Like, um, being able to just be aware and accept the reality, you know what I mean, of the shift in life. That's life. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. Life is not going to stop giving you uncomfortable, hard situations. You're going to have to know how to grieve, but there's a way that grief can soften you into into a deeper love relationship with yourself and the Most High. And we don't talk about the beautiful aspects of grief, not the thing that happened, but what happens as a result of taking really good care of yourself and being present with yourself. And so that is Sundays at Yaya's house this week. I want to know, like, what are some ways that you guys grieve? What are some ways that y'all soothe yourselves? What are some ways that you take really good care of yourself? I would love to see that because the list must continue to grow. You know what I mean? We must, I would like to compare notes with y'all, and to see like how are y'all holding up? How is winter treating you? But mainly like when grief comes up, because I almost feel like winter is the season of grief, is the season of grieving. I've talked about that in my last two videos. And so, yeah, I just want to know how y'all feel about that. How are y'all getting through? What are new practices that you guys are taking in that's supporting you guys in your winter rest? Okay, that's it, everybody. I'm gonna hop off of here because I have some things I need to do in order to make sure that I feel cared for throughout the week. So I hope that you are having a lovely Sunday, and I'll see y'all next week. Okay, peace.